Thank you, everybody. Anybody currently taking Principles of Marketing? Yes, online? Online or last semester? Have you had me as a professor? All right, that's a good sign. If you don't recognize me, that's a good thing. I'm just joking. Yeah, so I'm director of Greenhouse, Alec Gallego. I am actually a UVU alumni as well, so I have a huge passion for UVU. The chance I have to come in here and talk with you is super exciting. But I also teach online Principles of Marketing. If you ever want to take it, I'm a pretty good professor. I'm a pretty easy professor, but it's online, so it's not the same. You don't get a Charles Mace, so you need to have a Professor Mace here with you. Well, I want to start by telling a little bit more about my story, and then I'll get into Greenhouse. So I was in your same seats 10 years ago pursuing my undergrad here at UVU. And when I first started, actually, I was undeclared on what I wanted to do with my major. Any undeclared majors here? All right, still undeclared. Great, that means I still have the chance to capture you. What are some of the majors that you're pursuing? Accounting? I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. What other majors?
Business analysis.
Business analysis. Marketing, okay. IT. Raise your hand if you're pursuing marketing. Are you the only one? Okay, a few of you. Good, you guys understand the good side of things. No, actually, when I originally started, I came to UVU as a biology degree. And my whole life had determined I was going to be an orthodontist because I liked observing people's smiles. I have a weird thing where I know people by their teeth. It's not as weird as you think it is, but it's something that I acknowledged growing up. And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll be an orthodontist. But after going to school, I realized I didn't want to go through all of that schooling, and it wasn't as much a passion for what I would be doing in my career as much as it was going to give me some good income. So I adapted and I decided, well, I'll go and do a business degree because you can use a business degree kind of anywhere that you go in your life. My dad was an entrepreneur growing up. He had his own business. I knew someday I'd want my own business, but I didn't know exactly in what yet. So I came over to the Woodbury School of Business as an international business major. As I was going through it for a semester, I realized it wasn't as focused as I wanted it to be. It was a little too broad for my liking. So at that time, I was working at California Pete's Kitchen, determined, well, maybe I'll go the restaurant route. I mean, I'd love the perks of running a hotel. Sure, hospitality management. So I transitioned to hospitality management. It took me one semester to know that that was not the career that I wanted because of the lack of work-life balance. If you're ever considering hospitality management, you're wonderful people, but don't anticipate you'll have great work-life balance. And so ultimately I decided, well, all right, I really need to figure this out. This is my third time changing my degree. I really need to know where I'm going. And at that time, my wife was working at, anyone familiar with Blender Bottle?
Oh, yeah.
Blender Bottle. And Trove Brands is now what they've become. They're a conglomerate company now. They've got a Walla as well. The best bottles in the world. If you don't have an Walla bottle, you're really behind. But she was working there at the time, and I was super impressed by all the marketing and such that they were doing. And I thought, well, that's creative and fun. I have a knack for creativity, a good eye for design. Maybe I'll find a way to marry my passion for business with creative and innovative thinking. So I transitioned to marketing, and it was the best decision I ever made. Marketing could not have better suited me for what I was trying to accomplish in my career. And this is there's a shameless plug for the marketing department. It is the best networked department, I'd say, at the university. They are incredibly good at getting you connected with their network, getting you opportunities after college, and teaching you how your foundational passions can be met with the ability to provide for your family. So if you're on the fence, or if you're not sure whether you even should stay in marketing, whatever that may look like, marketing is a phenomenal opportunity. It's not for everybody, but if you're considering it, you will have a successful time at UVU in marketing because of the amazing professors that are there. And I know that that's not saying anything about me as a professor. I have a lot of learning and growing to do, but because I've gone through the program, I owe my career to what I was able to accomplish here at UVU with the marketing department. So stretching beyond that, when I was originally hired after college by my professor. Anyone know Dave Prisbila? You guys I think you're all kind of first or second years. I don't think you've matriculated if you are in marketing yet, so you may not know his name. He's a capstone teacher. But he hired me out right after graduation to run his company, Perpetual Technology Group. And as I talk through some of my experiences, I want to give you the dialogue that was going inside my head beyond just the dialogue that everyone saw from the outside. As an entrepreneur, it's incredibly stressful. And I know that that's something everyone understands, right? If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be your own boss. Yeah, stress comes along with it. But I imagine reading a book, I tend to skip past all the conversations that are happening to see what's going on in the background and between the lines. Well, what was going on between the lines for me was I was starting out a relationship with my wife. I had to figure out who I was in my career. This man was taking a chance on me to hire me on and run this multi-million-dollar business. I had no clue what I was doing, but I knew a few things about myself that I was going to do, and that was I was going to give it my all. I was going to learn as fast as I possibly could, and I was going to be open to change, be adaptable. One of the things that I've noticed some of my coworkers and other colleagues have struggled with is they feel like they only can do this one thing in their careers. And what I learned really fast is as I opened up and adapted myself a little bit more, I was able to find better opportunities for myself because I was willing to roll with the punches. And so he came to me with this idea of, hey, I want you to come run this business. It's an ed tech company. I bought this software from BYU. It's called WebCape. And it assesses how well someone speaks a language so they can get placed in the right course at the university. So right off the bat, I was still connected to academia, which I'd always wanted to be. I love academia, and I think this is a great opportunity to influence our next level of innovators in the industry. And I thought, well, I'm gonna go for it. He's paying me a lower salary than I would expect, but I want to learn from him. I had already learned from him so much. I knew he was someone I wanted in my network as a mentor, and it's someone that I could rely on later on if I continued that connection. And what I learned from it was I didn't have to have all the answers, and this is a really key tool for everybody to learn, Google has a lot of the answers for the things that you don't know. Don't be afraid to rely on Google and a quick Google search to find the answer and step-by-steps of how to do things. You're not going to know everything, and that's okay. The foundational strategy and knowledge and the work ethic is what means more than anything when you're going into the industry. I will hire someone with the work ethic and the drive over someone who says that they know everything any day. So if that's anything that you can take away is just work hard. Work hard and show that you can make impact by doing trying your best, right? But other things that were going through my head was, I don't know if this business is even going to last. While I was still trying to figure out what I'm even supposed to do with my career, I was in this question mark of a business, but I put in all of my efforts, built out foundational email marketing automation tools. I moved them. They started on Excel spreadsheets. That's how they were running all of their invoicing, and they would send manual emails one at a time to all 680 of their clients every month. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. And so the first thing, we moved them from Excel spreadsheets to Zoho. If anyone's familiar with Zoho, Zoho is pretty awesome. It's a great tool for just foundational small business strategy. Moved them to Zoho. Well, after a year of getting that up and running, building out a brand guide, bringing on new clients, transitioning all clients from an old platform to a new web-based platform, he sold me along with the company, and I transitioned to a company called Immersion. They purchased WebCape as the multiple choice version of their assessment, but they did speech testing. And so they brought me on, and originally I was brought on as director of operations because that's what I had been doing in my previous roles, operations. And a CEO brought me in, and actually the first few months I was really struggling in that role because I did not want to be a salesperson, and that's the route that I was going. I was gonna be an account rep. And no dig on people who are salespeople, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And so I remember having a conversation with the COO at that time where he told me, it's either you're gonna be a salesperson or you're just gonna have to find some other opportunity. And I felt super let down because while I just poured it over a year into this opportunity, it's pretty frustrating that because I don't wanna be a salesperson, I don't have an opportunity to keep going, right? Still earlier on in my career, so I thought, well, I can pivot. We'll see where this goes. The next week, they hired on, ironically, his brother to run the company as CEO. He was one of the co-founders, and he came back to run the company. He pulled me into his office, and I shared with him, this is what I'm thinking, was pretty vulnerable with him. And he said, well, there's lots of opportunity for marketing. We haven't done any marketing. Why don't you start out the marketing team? And so if there's any other advice I can give to you, it's to be vulnerable with your supervisors and with your leaders, because you never know when that's going to open up doors and opportunities for you as well. I was prepared to come into this conversation with the CEO, him tell me the same thing, and I was just going to leave and be like, well, I don't want a salesperson. All right, I'm going to move on to something else. But he saw the potential in me. And another huge part of it is just he was an incredible CEO as a person. Really pay attention to the leadership that you work for as well. If you have poor leadership, I can guarantee you your career is not going to go where you want it to go. If you have solid leadership who actually takes the time to connect with you when they say that their company values our authenticity and they truly mean it, you may not be paid as much as someone else who is at a dead-end job working their butts off and not getting anywhere, but you will have the opportunity to grow in ways that you didn't expect before. Just throwing in little life lessons as we go along. And sorry, this is disconnected. I've never really told my story before in front of a live audience, so bear with me. But as he gave me that opportunity, I started out the marketing department at this company. And we grew the company from, I think, like $5 million in sales after acquiring WebCape up to over $30 million in sales and annual recurring revenue. And we had zero marketing at the beginning, none. We didn't have like logos, we didn't have email marketing, we didn't have a website, we didn't have anything. And in 4.5 years, it was a super exciting accomplishment to see the fruits of my labors of building out a team, building out something from scratch, something that I didn't really know how to do, but I just dug in, showed some grit, and got the work done. The day that I chose to leave that job to pursue another opportunity, once again, the company was acquired. And so I got to reap the benefits of another acquisition. It was really exciting. So the same day that I announced that I was leaving there, I was offered a position as Director of Marketing Communications at Crumble. Crumble is fun. Careful who you share this recording with. I'm just kidding. Crumble was an incredibly exhilarating opportunity. And I was there for a year. It's funny because it's a billion-dollar company that once again did not really have any marketing foundational stuff. They were present on a lot of their channels, but a lot of the structure and the communication and the overall strategy had still needed time to be fleshed out. So I was foundational and excited to be a part of building out processes and operations within the marketing department. Throughout all my career, I've been kind of a Swiss Army knife between marketing and operations and gone back and forth. And I love that. I love being able to do both. But helped build out marketing communications where we did the franchise marketing for all the different franchises, building out the programs for that, product marketing around their catering, and helped launch, if you're familiar with the Crumble space, subscriptions, helped launch that to millions of subscribers. And I established the foundational campaign structure at Crumble, which they hadn't had before. Utilizing Monday.com, which Monday.com, if you don't know how to use it, it is incredibly intuitive and easy. Just go and try it. You can get it for free as a student, hop in, play with it, get to know it, because if they ask if you have experience in Monday.com, that has won me a position before. And you don't need to do a lot in order to have experience in Monday.com. So familiarize yourself with that platform. But build out that campaign strategy there. We launched 15 campaigns over the year that I was there, bringing in and grossing, I think, $160 million or something like that. Just huge opportunities to be part of a brand that was really growing in recognition. And because it was just a scrappy startup, it's just where I thrive. I love being a part of things that don't exist yet and building them from the ground up. Ultimately, in July of last year, they did a marketing restructure, and I decided it was time to move on to a different opportunity. And that is when this opportunity at Greenhouse presented itself. I wanted to start by actually showing showing a new video that was created by a student around Greenhouse. Do you have your messages up?
Yes, let me pull that up.
Yeah, if you pull your messages up, that'd be awesome. But I wanted to start by showing this video just to give you a glimpse into what the experience is like at Greenhouse from the student's perspective, since you're the most benefited from it. Yes, let's watch that one.
Are you looking to develop skills in digital marketing? We have the perfect opportunity for you. Welcome to Greenhouse Marketing Agency. We are a full-service digital marketing agency that offers a wide range of services to help real clients get real results. This is the ultimate internship you need to take off your career in marketing. Regardless of your background and experience, you can join this paid internship and actually experience real marketing. You will gain expertise in reputation management, search engine optimization, and social media content. The time you'll spend here is a great learning opportunity, and Greenhouse Marketing gives students an opportunity to learn professionalism, client communication, and how to work within a team. We are overseen by professionals in the respective fields of marketing. They teach us how to think like a marketer, so that we can solve problems and create growth on our own. They offer counsel and guidance as we work with clients to ensure the success of our work. We are each assigned one of these industry experts as a mentor. They help us optimize our resume, improve our interview skills, and get us ready for the career of our dreams. The experience you will get here is invaluable. Become a part of the next generation of great marketers by applying today.
The slow claps. One quick story around that is that video was created by a student who works at Greenhouse. I don't know what you're, yeah. That was created by a student who works at Greenhouse, and he was originally going to be let go 2 weeks before he finished that video. And I'll tell you a quick story about that, which, are there better videos out there? I'm sure there are, but I hope you can recognize just how great quality of a video that is for a student video, right? Pretty good video. At first, when he first started, we brought him onto Greenhouse and we were establishing, so actually, before I tell that story, I'm gonna take a step back. The whole idea behind Greenhouse was founded by Dave Prisbilla, and he originally started this idea by bringing on real clients in his capstone from his network, getting them that hands-on experience of practicing their digital marketing skills before they got into the field so that they became more attractive for people who are hiring. Well, he determined, I need to make this more impactful and I need to scale this. And so he, after pushing through several barriers at the academic institution, was able to start out an agency for students on campus, where students run it, you're paid, and you get that experience on top of we bring in industry mentors like I talked about to network with and to teach and inspire. And there are subject matter experts on the products that we offer. Completely unheard of experience within academia. Well, as we were building over the last couple of years, we identified that video is something that we needed to tell our story a little bit more. And so at the beginning of this last semester, we hired on a videographer and we told him, we don't have a lot of structure in place. We need you to just jump in, fail, and fail fast so that we can tweak from there, right? It's kind of at times it's a poor business model, but it's the only thing that we could do at the time because we had such limited resources. We didn't have a director yet. We only had 4 hours from each of those subject matter experts and part-time of Dave Prisbilla, who you saw in the picture as the one in the green shirt that was pointing all excitedly. If you ever run into him, tell him great acting job in that video because he loves that. But anyway, he determined that he wanted to make more of an impact, and so we brought on this videographer, and that videographer we didn't have a lot of direction for. We told him to just jump right in. Well, in the semester that he was there, he didn't have as much impact as we wanted to, so at the end of the semester we determined, well, we don't have the resources to support you. We are probably going to get rid of the position in general right now. And I love telling the story because while it was a hit on him at first, I guarantee he was frustrated. There wasn't a lot of direction from us. It was certainly not all his fault. We weren't giving him the support and the resources that he needed. He had 2 weeks to determine, well, do I just say, forget it, I'm not gonna do anything with this, they don't deserve my time, or I'm gonna take the last 2 weeks and really make a difference. And he jumped in, filmed, edited, and completed that video in 2 weeks when he was already told, you no longer have a place here at Greenhouse. He chose, instead of just giving up, to not burn a bridge, to prove that we were wrong, and he certainly did. Is it the greatest video I've ever seen? No, there's always room for improvement, but that was a phenomenal video, and it is the greatest video I've seen from a student at Greenhouse. And so I remember Priz was gone, and I was, well, at the same time that he was being told it was time for him to go, we finally got approval to bring on a director. I had been around for a year and a half as a consultant. The timing was right, and I'd always wanted to be part of this full time, so I got hired on as the director. Super excited to be here. Well, at that time, when I saw this video come out, I said, you're not leaving. I'm keeping you here, you're staying here. And so I tell that story just so that you know, if you are ever in that situation, you have many opportunities in your career where you get to prove people wrong. And it's not prove people wrong just for the sake of being spiteful or anything like that. It's just for you to continue to prove your worth. You may be put in a situation where they tell you you're just not making the impact we need you anymore. And you can turn that around and show them, no, you're making a big mistake by letting me go. Okay? So just keep that in mind as well. But I share that story because the video ultimately turned out fantastic. We have him on, and he's continuing work with us. He's working on a new video, and we can't wait to see what he comes up with next. I'm going to skip over one of these stories because of time, but another story just around the experience of a student in general at Greenhouses. We have this headline story that we call From Janitor to the 97th Floor. There was a student who was in his last 2 years at the university, still trying to get internship credit, but and this may sound familiar to some of you, every internship that he went and applied for, they told you need more experience. And to him, he was frustrated because why do I need more experience? That's what an internship is for. I need experience. I need an internship to gain that experience, right? Well, after applying to hundreds of internships, getting a call back for like 3 and ultimately not making it to the end of each of them, he came into Greenhouse one day and told us, like, I saw this come up, and at this point he was exhausted. He determined it's probably not even gonna be a real thing, so I'm probably wasting my time, which he didn't tell us this, but he tells the story later, and he applied. Well, at that time, we really needed any and all support, and he was the first one to sign up, and not saying that we only hired him because he was all that we had, but we kind of only hired him because he was all that we had at the time, right? But that was okay because in the 2 years, or actually a little over a year that we had him, he was able to step up to the plate, step up to bat, whatever that phrase is, whatever. I mess up my idioms all the time. He stepped up and he took on a project manager role right off the bat with very little to no experience and full ambiguity of what's going on in Greenhouse. He turned that into a completely different experience for himself and catapulted us to a next level to the point that he was able to utilize Greenhouse and move on from being a janitor of a local school to landing an internship and later turned into a digital marketing specialist at 97th Floor, a local revered digital marketing agency. So just showing you there what the experience at Greenhouse, and that's one story. Nearly everyone who has gone through Greenhouse has experienced that same thing of, I'm starting from nothing. Well, let us help you build you up and get you to where you need to go. So again, another shameless plug for Greenhouse. If you're ever considering applying, please do apply. And I'll wrap this up here really shortly. I have a younger brother, and my younger brother was in a similar situation where he was afraid to apply for internships because he didn't have experience. I love my brother to death, but don't be my brother. Don't apply because you don't think you have the experience for these. Always, always, always push yourself into career opportunities that you may not be applied for because, and I know that Charles will teach this because we had a conversation about it a couple weeks ago in your career prep classes, there is always a way for you to tell a story to outsell yourself over someone who has more experience than you. So always, always, always take on the opportunity if you think that even if you think you're not qualified. Just jump into it and give it your all. One final thing that I'll end with is the word propinquity. Does anyone know what propinquity means? Propinquity is the word of just being close to someone in proximity to people. We say that word a lot around Greenhouse because the best way for you to land opportunities and to network is propinquity. Spending time with people, being there with people, being around those people. If you're ever considering wanting a job at Greenhouse, or you're wanting to network with anyone in Greenhouse, or even come network with us, other professors throughout the university, you're not going to be able to do that without coming and spending time with us. Take advantage of the networking opportunities that you have here at UVU. I owe my career to my networking here at UVU. The students down there are prepared for you to come down there and just shadow them. It's not gonna be paid at first, but I'll tell you this much, if you're considering greenhouse and you apply, I will guarantee you an interview if I know your name. If I don't know your name, you are just another candidate in that pool, and it's a competitive pool. We're not hiring right now, but we'll be hiring another group of students this next semester and the following, and pretty much every semester indefinitely, we're gonna be hiring. So if you want an opportunity where you can get internship credit, get paid to be on campus, take breaks between your classes in order to go work at a greenhouse or at an agency where you're working with real clients, getting real hands-on experience, you should really consider greenhouse. And if you're not sure whether you're sold on marketing yet, you should really reconsider and join marketing, because we're the best school in this school. Anyway, I'll leave you with all of that. You're welcome to reach out to me and contact me with any questions. Again, if you're interested in greenhouse or you want to know about it, you can reach out to me, or you can come and spend some time in greenhouse. And if you're looking for an internship soon, there's probably a place for you if we know your name. So there's a place for you everywhere here at UVU. But anyway, thanks everyone. I appreciate your time.